टेंशन हो रही है यार। कुछ इन्वेस्टमेंट और मोटिवेशन की वीडियो देख लेता हूँ।
जो आप है ना, शायद वही आपको बेटर बनने से रोक रहा है। तो खुद को मार रहा है।
How do you feel knowing every photo someone clicks with you is going to end up on LinkedIn?
So the job of every investment that you make should be to beat your inflation.
You break down your portfolio for us.
Personally, for me, I think one should only take 2 loans in life. One is for education and one is for home.
What's up with Faridabad? Like, why are there so many creators? There's you, there's Zerodha, there's Carrie Minati, Prakhar Gupta, Arpit Bala, Vinamra Kasana. Are you the same person as you are on camera and off camera also?
Absolutely.
So do you really go around telling people don't do FD, don't do FD?
Yeah, I like it. Kyun kar rahe ho? So between Ruchi and I, we earn 1.25 CR a year. We'd be spending nearly the entire amount in travel.
Okay. Entire amount.
Yeah.
Okay. So where's the safety net? What?
Yeah, it makes so much
What?
sense.
Please break that down for us. FinCharts TV is now a part of Zerodha's 01 network, and together we plan on bringing you stories that impact your day-to-day lives, sometimes without you realizing it. So do consider liking this video, sharing it with your friends, and subscribing to our channel. So my first question, we'll just dive into the questions. So my first question to you is, how do you feel knowing every photo someone clicks with you is going to end up on LinkedIn? Like with a very inspirational message as well. So how do you feel about it?
I don't feel anything. I feel no, I shouldn't say that. I feel really warm and frankly very grateful because I wish they were tagging me and there was a way for me to just filter all of these photographs because I just occasionally bump into them on my feed and my LinkedIn is frankly so noisy because there are just so many things happening. But no, overall it's just a lot of gratitude for sure.
Yeah. Okay. So coming into the personal finance side of things, why do you hate FDs? Like.
Because they're terrible for investments.
Okay.
It shouldn't be called an investment product. Well, the nuance is simple for those who are watching for the first time and perhaps don't understand. There's a concept of inflation, which is basically how fast the pricing or cost of products rise every year. So if, let's say it's 6%, that means anything that costs 100 rupees today will cost 106 rupees on an average next year. And FDs will give you a rate of return that's less than what the current inflation in the country is. And then they're also taxed at the income tax slab. So let's say if you're in the upper bracket of income tax at 30%, then even if you're getting a 5%, you're taxed 30%, you're getting a 4.5%, which means your money, even in an FD, is losing 1.5% of value every year, which is horrible. So the job of every investment that you make, any investment that you make, should be to beat your inflation, not the government inflation, but your own inflation, which could be much higher than the government inflation. Like you and I most likely will have an inflation of 9 to 10% because we spend very differently from what most of the country spends. And that's something that people, I wish, recognize. And that's why I overemphasize on stock market in general, because that's proven to give you returns that are in the range of 12, 13%. And that beats inflation.
Understood. So I think a better way for you to like explain this would be if you break down your portfolio for us.
Okay.
And what part is invested in which instrument.
Sure.
And if there is any FDs, so we'll probably...
I've never done any FD in my life, and I'm proud to do that. The portfolio is split nearly 100% into equity, but it's split between public equity and private equity. So I think about 30% last I checked was Indian mutual funds. About 10% are Indian stocks, which are just a couple of stocks, and I only buy them because I know the founders well. These are mostly startup stocks. I don't claim to be a stock expert by any measure, so I don't pick stocks in general. Then about another 20 to 30% is US mutual funds and stocks. About 20% is Indian startups. And then about 5 to 7% is crypto.
Oh, okay.
That's all that I have. And there is no FD in this. There's an emergency fund which is separate. I wouldn't call it into an investment. And I only own one house, which is of that.
Okay. So no FDs.
No FDs.
Majority in equity.
Yes.
5 to 6% in crypto.
Yes.
And an emergency fund, which is
Correct.
very important. So like you said, this is the breakdown of your portfolio, and you said an emergency fund is important. So what are like other financial things that are important for someone who's trying to build up their finances?
I say this, Akanksha, that before you even think of investing, irrespective of which age you are in, you need to have what I call a safety net.
Okay.
And a safety net for me are three things. One is an emergency fund, and that's essentially whatever are your primary mandatory expenses in a month, multiply that by the number of months you need that fund for. Ideally, it should be 6 months. Well, actually, I would say bare minimum, it should be 3 months, ideal 6 months, and the perfect one will be 12 months. So at any point of time, you have 12 months of runway, but minimum 3 months. Whatever happens, God forbid, you at least have that stable income or at least that stable fund into tap to. Then second is health insurance, because the speed at which health costs are increasing in this country is wild. And you don't want to be spending your money on any hospitalization that happens, most of which will be unforeseen and you cannot plan for it. And it will be a money suck like crazy.
Yeah.
COVID was a huge test for that. And there were so many families I know who just lost their entire savings simply because of hospitalization. So you need a health insurance for yourself, separately for your parents because they're aging. And the health insurance premium is tied to the age of the eldest member. So if your parents are in there, you will unnecessarily be paying a lot for your own health premium, which you shouldn't have to if you're in your 20s. And then the third one is life insurance, which is if you are an earning member of the family and if you're the only earning member of the family, then the family depends on your income. And God forbid, if something were to happen to you and your life or your income potential, you need to safeguard your family. So these three things are mandatory before you think of any investment, because the investment is the upside. But whenever you think of an upside, the smart investor always blocks or takes care of the downside.
Understood. So my next question is, you talk a lot about the middle class trap. And I want to understand in your own words, what is the middle class trap? And I'm sure a lot of our viewers are probably in it and they're not able to articulate it well or understand. So, and you also have a series where you talk to folks who have made questionable financial decisions. So what are some red flags that you realize in their situation that tells you that this is the middle class trap?
The middle class trap, Akanksha, is we earn through really hard ways. We spend a lot of our hours in getting that income, that salary every month. And then we put it in the bank. And that gives us a rate of interest of, say, 3.5%, which is a joke, but still we get that. And then to fulfill our needs, we take a loan from the bank. If we take a personal loan, it's 14 and 15%. If we take a home loan, 8-9%. We take a car loan, 9-10%. We take an education loan, round about the same thing. We take a credit card loan, 36-40%. We take a loan from a random app, even higher. It's the bank money, but it's essentially all of our money. So you have put in money in the bank, I've put in money in the bank. That same money is now being lent back to us at a 8-9% upwards. And we are getting paid 3.5% for doing that. But if we were a really large corporate, somebody who has to set up a factory or so on, we will then suddenly be negotiating with the bank and get that same loan at perhaps 6%, 5%. And if we were to default, we may even get that waived off because we're big enough for the bank to care. But a middle class person misses one EMI and there's somebody knocking at their door, making their life miserable, and their credit score goes for a toss, never to come back again. So the middle class trap is you're essentially a slave to how the banking system works, where you're putting in their money thinking that it's safe, but that money is lent back to you at much higher interest, and you now have to consistently and always keep working in your life to pay back that debt. That's the trap. It's a classic rat race. Now, how do you identify these traps? So I run this series called Money Matters on YouTube that you referred to, and there it's so saddening and unfortunate how people, very smart people who have no business not knowing these traps, are completely unaware of it. Number one, they have no visibility over how their money is spent. So if I were to ask them, hey, how much do you spend on Zomato, Swiggy, Zepto, Blinkit? No idea. How much do you spend on subscriptions? No idea. How much do you spend on just these petty UPI purchases you make every day, 17 rupees, 21 rupees, blah, blah, blah? No idea. They have a very good idea of how much they earn, but they have no idea of how much they spend. So flag or red flag number one. Number two, they keep dipping into loans, non-collateralized mostly, so credit cards, personal loans, to build or play a status game. So I want to buy that phone, I want to buy that car, I want to buy those clothes, I want to go on that vacation. They don't have the means to pay for it, but they're like, oh, koi farak nahi padta. We'll just swipe a card and we can pay later. So buy now, pay later, buy now, pay later, zero EMI schemes and so on. And because the amounts look very small, they feel very manageable. So if you were to take, say, a 5,000 rupee loan, which is nothing for you to go on a fancy dinner, and even if it's at 30% yearly rate of interest, you would pay what? 1,500 rupees over a year. You split that by 6 months, you're paying like 750 rupees. That doesn't sound like a lot, but it is still 30% rate of interest, which you shouldn't be paying for something that is not putting any money in your pocket or adding any value to your life except for that momentary pleasure. So red flag number two, you're using non-collateralized loans or access to capital to play a status game. And the third flag then is they have no visibility over their debts as well, because they would miss some EMIs, they are half paying some, they're half-assing some, and they're also taking some loans from their friends. So it's like their loan management system is completely gone haywire. And they're just trying to pay one loan through another loan and another loan through another loan, another loan to another loan, without realizing that that is just absolutely a sink. And that ensures they're never, ever going to be financially independent. Ever. Financial liberation is far away. I'm just talking about financial independence. They will always have to lean on somebody or something for their financial stability. So all of this financial independence and financial freedom and the choice to work from wherever and whether you want to work or not, all of that is just such a far-fetched illusion when you're in this middle-class trap that you have no idea you have put yourself into.
Okay, so it's essentially no track of your expenses, taking loans for things that shouldn't be taken a loan for.
Right.
And the third is having no track of your debt, right? And so coming from the second point, right? What are the things one should take a loan for and one shouldn't? So like, should I take a loan for a car? Should I take a loan for education? Or should I take a loan for a home? Will you like just try to break that down for our audience?
Personally, for me, I think one should only take two loans in life. One is for education and one is for home.
Okay.
Everything else should be self-funded. Everything else should, at some point of time, even if it's delayed, should be self-funded. That's my personal thought.
Okay. And is there like a criteria, like for education? So should I take a loan for a foreign education? If I do that, is there any nuance there? So
I think education in general, if you're taking a loan for a good degree/college, should be taken irrespective of what nuance it is. Don't take a loan to go to Warikoo Institute of Management for a lousy MBA. That will not do any help. But if you have to go to a top college or you have to go to a good university or if you just have to surround yourself with smart people, I feel an education loan somehow has a way of paying itself. Home is just such a very emotional thing. And at some point of time, I really feel that everybody should have loan. And I get a lot of hate from people who feel that I don't endorse that. I absolutely endorse it. What I don't endorse is buying a home really early in your life, because then again, you are trapped into this cycle where you don't have enough income. You now have to take a 20-year-old loan and stick with it. So your job becomes not a way of freeing yourself, but a chain that you cannot free yourself from ever, because that salary is important for you. And you will outgrow that, that house size, that house colony, that city also perhaps very soon, because you're just growing in your ambitions. So don't take a house in your 20s. Highly recommend it. I'd say the right time to take a house loan or a home loan or to buy a house is after you're 35, and then build a lovely home for yourself when you have the means to.
Makes sense. So essentially, don't take a loan for a depreciating asset like a car or a phone.
Anything. So one big misnomer, and I remember reading this when I was 19, Rich Dad Poor Dad, which was like the seminal book that I read. That was my introduction to personal finance. The definition of asset and liability.
Understood. So what are some financial mistakes that you made I mean,
Oh man, how much time do we have? I think the biggest one was at the age of 29 buying a house,
okay.
and that too on a loan. I thought I was the smartest kid in town. I remember the house when I bought was for some 23 lakhs or something. And after 5 years, I sold it for about 41 lakhs, which sounds great on paper. But when I did the math of the home loan EMI that I paid, the interest that I paid on it, the registration charges that I paid, the brokerage fee that I paid, the maintenance of the house when I was not using it but doing it, blah, 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 my rate of return came to about 4.8%, which is less than a FD rate. So I could have literally put that money into a fixed deposit and made more money from that without going through the hassle of owning a real estate. Terrible, number one. Number two, as a startup founder, for the first 6 years of my investing journey, I put all of my money, I kid you not, all of my money in startups, thinking that I was the smartest kid, because who in their right mind would put money in mutual funds and in gold and in stocks, because they are the lousy places to put money in, and startups are the cool thing. So I was like peak Bengaluru, and terrible idea. I lost money on nearly 90% of them. The 10% that I did make money, it was not at my call, because I couldn't get money when I wanted it. I could only get money when somebody else wanted to sell it. So highly illiquid. And it was just so dumb of me to think that that was my escape. The third thing, which I'm not very proud of, is over-indexing on some stocks, thinking that I knew about those stocks.
Okay.
I don't know about stocks. I am not Nikhil or Nitin, and I do not do this for a living, and I couldn't do this for a living even if I wanted to. So I'm happy to rely on an expert today and be like, all of my money, mutual funds. I don't know how to pick stocks, and I shouldn't be picking stocks as well. I would just happily ride on someone else's expertise whose job is 24/7 to do that.
Makes sense. So, moving to another topic, like there's a lot of noise when it comes to, AI coming in, taking away jobs, etc. So when you meet young folks, maybe young folks in your team, because your whole team is young, and once you're outside, I'm sure a lot of people swarm you. I'm sure a lot of those questions is a lot of anxiety around this fear of, okay, how is my life going to change with AI coming in? So do you have any advice for them?
It is certainly going to change, for sure. What one doesn't know is how.
Yeah.
And nobody, I think, in the world, even the smartest people who are closest to the technology, can predict what's going to happen in the next 5 to 10 years. So how do you prepare for a world which you can't predict? And the answer is, you can't through skills. You can only through mindset and temperament. So I would encourage everyone to just have the mindset of a student, which means that whatever the world requires you to adapt to, you have the ability to adapt to. You don't build or constrain yourself into some very rigid contour of who you are, on identity of who you are, and be like, nahi, main to engineer hu, nahi, main to doctor hu, nahi, main to lawyer hu. No, you have to be formless in today's world, because that is the only way you can build another form, whatever that form requires you to. And that's the only advice I give students. Stop preparing for jobs. Stop preparing for careers that may not even exist by the time you're ready for them. Start preparing for the right mindset, which requires you to expose yourself to different ideas, different technologies, different temperaments, and just be so agile that it doesn't matter if somebody asks you, hey, become a robot tomorrow. You can.
Okay.
Because you just have the ability to.
Understood. So, but what skills can someone add? Like, what is one valuable skill that you think that someone can add that's going to give them some value in the coming days?
3 of them particular I speak about in no particular order. Number 1 is communication. It's never going to go away. The form of communication may change, but the need of communication will never. So there was a time we used to write letters, that was communication. Then we started typing, that was communication. Then we started telegramming, that's communication. Now we do voice, that's communication. But communication as a need has never diminished. The mode has changed. So it will keep changing, but communication will never. Number 2 is critical thinking. It is paramount that you have the ability to distill a problem into smaller problems and have the ability to think through them. You cannot depend on AI to do that.
Yeah.
You can't be like, yeri problem, and now please give me a solution, because then you're just outsourcing the thinking to somebody else. And that is only going to deplete you of your cognitive ability. So you need to have critical thinking built in as a layer. And number 3 is just insanely high level of comfort with technology. And when I say an insanely high level, it doesn't mean that you know how to use WhatsApp or so on. You need to know what's happening in the world. You don't need to be a coder. You don't need to be an engineer. You don't need to be a designer, a UXer, or any of those technical things that you may be intimidated by. But you need to embrace technology. You need to know, how does ChatGPT work? How does Gemini work? How do you create a new image from Nano Banana? How do you create videos from Veo? How do you create a presentation from Gamma? You just do it, because it's so easy in today's world to do it that anybody can. You just need to have that inertia overcome within you that you want to do it, so that you're just comfortable with what's happening in the world, and it doesn't strike you by surprise that, oh my God, the world shifted so fast and I had no idea that this is happening.
Hey guys, if you like our work at FinShots, do consider checking out Ditto. Ditto is our sister company and they are trying to make insurance simpler for people like you and me. If you're thinking of reviewing your insurance needs, why don't you book a free call with Ditto Insurance's IRDAI certified advisors? The link is in the description. So outside of personal finance, business, etc., what is Ankur Warikoo? Like, we know you've had this health arc.
No.
So apart from that, what is Ankur Warikoo?
It's a concoction of a lot of interests. I love reading a lot. I love writing a lot. I love playing tennis. I love working out. I love traveling with my family. I love spending time with my kids and my wife. I love thinking a lot. I love researching a lot. I love singing. Though I don't do it publicly.
Would you say this is a public space?
No. I love cracking stupid jokes. I love not taking myself seriously. I love creating content. I love teaching. I love public speaking. So there are a lot of interests that I pursue, and I thankfully have reached a point where I can pursue all of them and not feel the pressure of creating any serious outcome from them. Just being happy. But broadly, I think of myself as formless. I genuinely do, and that's why I love where I've reached in life. Because if you were to ask me, hey, do you want to consider becoming this person or that person and that person, I can absolutely give it a shot, because there's nothing holding me back, and that is something that I'm really happy about in my life.
What content do you watch? Like, any YouTubers you follow?
I don't consume YouTube much. My daily YouTube usage will be less than 5 minutes.
Okay.
I don't even know where I spend those 5 minutes. I watch a fair bit of Instagram that is a lot of tennis content.
So no finance or personal finance creators?
No, nothing at all. Absolutely not. That'll be so boring. No. A lot of tennis, a lot of human psychology. On Insta, and Insta has a really good content warehouse for that. And occasionally stand-up. I like stand-up across people, Indian and outside of it as well. But I spend a lot of time on Twitter. I spend an inordinate, almost illegal time on Twitter. Which I shouldn't be.
Do you have a burner account, or do you do it from your main account?
It is from my named account. I don't have any other account. No announce, nothing.
Okay. So I'm diverging. Like, I have a question. What's up with Faridabad? Like, why are there so many creators from Faridabad? I'll give you a list.
Is it?
Yes. I don't think there's any place that has as many creators. There's you. There's Neeraj Arora. There's Carrie Minati, Prakhar Gupta, Arpit Bala, Vinamra Kasana, Rajan Arora, Gaurav Kapoor, Sonu Sharma, Rajat Dalla. Why are there so many creators from Faridabad? What is this secret sauce? Like, do you guys have this secret creator Illuminati Faridabad?
No, all of the ones that you've named, I believe are true Faridabadis. I'm a fake Faridabadi because I moved to Faridabad 20 years back. So for all technical reasons, I didn't even study there and so on. But now that you say it, I have no reason. Like Neeraj, Vinamra, I've never met Carrie Minati. Prakhar, yes, I have.
What's happening in Faridabad?
Explain it. Is there no other city like this?
I don't think there's so many.
Yeah, certainly not from some obscure like Faridabad.
I mean, like, you'd assume, people move to Mumbai to become creators and all, but Faridabad, like, such a thriving creator ecosystem.
There is a secret.
Yeah, I tweeted about it and I got like some 2,000 likes, and people are also wondering that in the comments, that why are there so many creators from Faridabad?
Wow, that is so
And like there's folks coming up in the comments and saying, "Oh, you missed a few people. Oh, you missed a few people." So
when I saw when are you moving? When are you moving?
yeah, I think if Faridabad will accept me,
we
so-
have a very strong eligibility selection.
Yeah,
committee.
right,
Very
right,
strong.
yeah.
Very strong.
So you guys have like secret Illuminati
We do.
creator
Yeah,
meeting.
yeah. I can't say anything more than
Yeah.
that. Then I'll be shocked.
Yeah.
So I'll have to say quiet.
Yeah. Coming back to our questions, coming back to finance.
exactly.
Are you the same person as you are on camera and off camera also?
Absolutely the same person.
So do you really go around telling people don't do FDs, don't do FDs?
Yeah, I like it. क्यों कर रहे हो? Including, thankfully, my parents also don't have any FDs now.
Now.
Now, yeah, I know. Because FD, RD, ये हमारे देश के बहुत important हिस्से हैं. Like the child is born and the FD is created.
ULIPs.
Yeah, ULIPs and PF. All of these are very standard LIC policies. They are symbolic of how this country has shaped up over the last 40, 50 years. And they served us well, by the way, for a really long time until they didn't. And that's what I mean by changing when times have changed.
Makes sense.
I started earning for the first time in my life at 24. And then I worked for 9 months before I went to business school and inherited a 15 lakh rupee loan.
Amazing.
And then I started working and I hit my first crore when I was 35. And then I lost it all. And then I hit my first crore again when I was 41. And thankfully, I've looked back since then.
So that's 10 years, up, down, up, down.
Yeah. So 24 is when my first job happened. I earned 14,000 rupees a month. And then did that. So 35 is when I hit my first crore, like crore in the bank or crore in corpus. And then I lost it all, went bankrupt. And then at 41, I hit my next crore.
What's your take on MBA? Like, I'm 25.
Yeah.
I've worked for like 4 years. Should I get an MBA? I don't have an MBA so far. And others, like probably folks who are watching.
No, I will answer on your behalf for others as well. I think an MBA is a terrific degree if you do it from the right place.
Okay.
So again, doing it from a Warikoo Institute of Management is a terrible idea. Don't, because it doesn't amount to anything. The degree does not matter. What matters in an MBA, certainly it mattered for me and it helped me, is the students that you're studying with and how much they elevate you and your thinking. The professors who are teaching you and how much do they expose you to a different world, and the opportunities that you get because of that program, because of its prestige, its value, or whatnot. And frankly, there are, in our country, no more than 15 to 20 institutes that give you that. So, as harsh as it may sound, if you can't get an MBA from the top 15 to 20 institutes, don't go for it.
Okay.
Because then I feel it's a waste of your time and your money, and certainly your potential. You're better off hustling and getting it to a point where you can make your way through, and then maybe go for an executive MBA at a top institute instead of trying to think that your CAT, MAT, ZAD, BAT percentile is the end of it all in your life.
Understood. What's the most expensive thing that you've bought?
Besides the house, I believe.
Yeah. And like, not something that serves a purpose or like maybe gear for your studio, something just for yourself.
The most expensive, because both Ruchi and I, we love tennis. The most expensive things we'll buy will be tennis matches. We do travel to watch tennis matches, and those are insanely expensive.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's where we spend money. Physical, I will struggle to point anything that we've bought which is physically expensive.
Okay. So no fancy watches or
Nothing.
cars, yachts.
No. We rent our car. We don't even own a car.
What?
Yeah, it makes so much financial sense.
Please break that down for us. Like, this is renting, buying, going ahead one more further step.
So, no, the disclaimer there is because we have an organization or a company. It's financially more prudent to rent than to buy. The logic is that when you're renting, you're paying a monthly expense that comes into your expenditure, so it lowers your profit and thus your taxes, and you can pass on that. And it's a 3-year lease, and every 3 years you can get a new car, and you don't have to ever own one. And it comes out to be much cheaper than owning it. one thing that I can't understand, and if I were to see it in somebody else, I would not be sure of how I would perceive it, but we spend a crazy amount of money on travel every year.
Okay. So, like, how much percentage would it be of all the money that you're making? Would there be a percentage in your mind? Like, are you also keeping track of your expenses?
No, of course I do. Yeah. So between Ruchi and I, we earn 1.25 CR a year. That's the compensation we get from the company. We'd be spending nearly the entire amount in travel.
Okay. Entire amount.
Yeah.
Okay. So, where's the safety net?
No, so this doesn't come from our salary. I'm just talking about the quantum because most of it comes from the company as well,
Okay.
which is not the salary. So we invest almost all of our money. So this is our through our 1.25 CR, we pay the school fees of our kids, which is a lot.
Yeah.
And of course taxes. And this is gross, so this is not net. And then investment. So almost all of it is just invested. So that's a safety net.
So this is my last question to you. So you said that everybody needs insurance.
Yeah.
Everybody needs an emergency fund. Everybody needs to keep investing their money so that it keeps growing with time. And what are some other things that they definitely need to do so that the financial part of their life is taken care of?
I think the most important thing that people lack is discipline. And discipline is very hard to come by, because if it was, then everybody would have it. So I would encourage people to think about their investing journey like their bank EMIs. We don't come up with excuses for our bank EMIs. We don't be like, no, I don't feel like it this month, or I don't have the money this month. The bank will come and get their EMI. Please have that same mindset towards your own investing. So I often speak about the rich and the poor mindset.
Yeah.
And I say that the poor mindset is that you get your income, you then have your expenses, and then whatever is left, if it is left, you would invest. But the rich mindset is that you get your income, you make your investments, and then whatever is left is how you spend your month. And that is when you pay yourself first. Because when you get your income, you pay the government your taxes, you pay the landlord their rent, you pay the bank their EMI, you pay Zomato, Swiggy, their food delivery, you pay Zepto and Blinkit, their grocery delivery, you pay Netflix and YouTube, their subscription. And then if something is left, you pay for yourself. That is so stupid. You ought to pay yourself first and then pay the rest. And that will mean making some compromises some month and cutting down on some expenses some month. But you will realize that those will always add up far more meaningfully in a short period of time than anything else. So please be disciplined. And the best way to do that is SIPs. SIPs, same day, every month, it gets cut.
Yeah.
And that's it.
So you don't have any preference to like large cap, mid cap, small cap, flexi cap? Like how do you choose your funds?
Yeah, that's another thing that people, they feel that the more mutual funds they have, the better returns they'll get. No, that's not how it works, because they are investing in the same stocks at the back end.
Yeah.
So I believe that everybody just needs 3 mutual funds. One, a large cap index fund. 2, a flexi cap or a mid cap fund. 3, a small cap fund. That's it. Now, the split of these 3 is a function of your risk appetite. If you're very young and you are willing to take risks, please over-index on the small and the mid cap. If you are senior, you have responsibilities, you have family obligations, and you don't want to take a lot of risk, please over-index on the large cap index funds and at best a few mid caps. Eliminate small cap if they're there, because this is increasing order of risk. Small caps, super risky, but over a long period of time, at least 5 to 10 years, will give you healthy returns if they will. But large caps, less risky, more stable, but of course then lesser returns over a period of time.
And how do you pick your mutual funds?
There are some if you were to do the research, there are some very standard, really high quality mutual funds in each of these 3 categories. Just go with them. I wouldn't name them because that will be not appropriate, but just go with them, and that will be all that you need to take care of. With an index fund, it frankly doesn't matter because most index funds are the same. So whosoever is your bank or your preferred mutual fund, just go with that index fund. But if it comes to anything else like a small cap or a mid cap, flexi cap, just go with the most reputed mutual funds. They have done commendably well over the last several decades. No reason they wouldn't.
Understood. So we'll move to the last section. Like I'm getting like so many messages also now that have you done the meme review? So we are going to do like a meme review with Ankur.
Okay.
We're going to see all the memes that have been made on Ankur.
On me. I know of a few of them.
You know a few of them?
I know a few
So
of them.
you guys can see them on your screen. I'm going to be showing these to Ankur. So
Yo, what's up, bro? What's up, bro? What's up, bro? What's up, bro? Yo, what's up, bro? Please don't buy NFT. Janhit mein jari. Yo, what's up, bro? What's up?
you
bro?
really hate FDs.
I really did.
What's up?
I know banks would hate me. I was like, banks would really hate me.
I mean, mutual funds also, like they do have products, but okay.
No, but mutual funds, I have never, I've never had anyone from the mutual fund saying thank you, but I've also never had anyone of the bank saying F
What?
you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think they're like,
Had you seen this meme before?
I have.
Yeah.
I've seen this meme.
You look up for like, do you search?
No,
anyone
I don't.
Google?
I don't. No, this is my team that they send it across.
Yeah, do you Google Ankur Warikoo?
No.
You don't do that?
I don't. I
Okay.
used to.
Yeah, okay.
I don't think I've seen this one.
Okay, yeah.
टेंशन हो रही है यार कुछ इन्वेस्टमेंट और मोटिवेशन की वीडियो देख लेता हूँ
जो आप है ना शायद वही आपको बेटर बनने से रोक रहा है
तो खुद को मार डाल.
मार डाल
So how do you come up with this then?
No, in my head, it was just so obvious that you have to kill your identity that you have today.
Yeah.
But this is this is a ridiculously used one, and this I think the second
Yeah.
one आपके per घंटे का rate क्या है?
Yeah.
But we'll come to that. But
Oh wait, where's the audio not working?
में ये लिखें कि आपका पर घंटे का रेट कितना है
You don't watch this stuff.
this is the funniest. So I use this meme a lot in my own videos.
Yeah.
Because when I'm doing time value of money,
Yeah.
I invariably remember this, and then I'll be like, Piyush. So Piyush is a long form editor. Like Piyush, ye meme dal dena is
Yeah. But did you know, like, when you were saying this, apne aap ko maar dalo? Yeah. Okay.
Not like there are moments I have to admit, Akanksha, now that I'm shooting a video and I will fumble or I'll say something really stupid, and then I'll be like, "Ye dekhna meme banega."
Okay.
Now I've gotten the sense of what will be the meme friendly
Yeah.
delivery. But
Okay, so this is also like you hating on FDs. So do you realize it's like across bank manager with FDs? Warikoo sir.
तुम मुझसे दूर चले जाओ जितना दूर चलना चाहती हो मैंने तेरे लिए मुझे बात नहीं करना तुमसे मैं बोला ना कल सारे
Like, do you realize
Funny.
across platforms? It's like
so funny.
Reddit, Instagram, YouTube,
Yeah.
Facebook. It's everywhere.
People are so amazing.
Like, have you seen this?
No.
जो आप है ना शायद वही आपको बेटर बनने से रोक रहा है तो खुद को मारा मेरा समझ तेरी अम्मी जान दे
I have not seen this.
Have you not seen this? Okay. This also.
ये क्या हुआ क्या तो
You've not seen these?
I've not seen this. This is a good one. I should use this.
So you know,
Yeah.
you knew too. Like the one is like अपने आप को मार डालो और आपका
And आपके
घंटे
पर
का.
घंटे का rate क्या है?
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. Okay, this is an advertisement. Okay, but yeah, there's this.
जो इंसान अपने 20s में एक एफडी कराता है क्योंकि वो सेफ है सिक्योर है मम्मी पापा का आशीर्वाद है उसमें तो वो नंबर 1 गधा है
This reminds me of that Spider-Man meme as well, which was I see him everywhere.
Yeah.
That is also, that was.
And like we had to just like curate like 10
These
of
are
them.
super fun. These are
And there were so many more, and like that, like I said, our whole team was like, let's just do meme reviews, no 2 hours. I said, no, I don't think that we can do that.
No, this was fun. Thank you for making me laugh on a Saturday morning. This was fun.
Yeah. Thank you for coming on a very chilly.
No,
Delhi
absolutely.
Saturday
Pleasure.
morning.
I'm glad that we did this, and thank you for organizing it, because I know that this was a long time coming, and you all had planned for it, but I'm glad that it happened. And it's in fact quite remarkable that we did it in December, because this month is just so packed
Yeah.
that I'm glad we could squeeze in time and make
Yeah.
this happen.
Thank you so much for speaking with us,
Absolutely
Ankur.
a
Thank
pleasure.
you so
Thank you
much.
so much, Akanksha. Thank you.
Thank you.